afternoon.
The energy on that was very low.
Yeah.
All right, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Do I need to go get the punishment stick?
That didn't
No.
sound anything like a line. Not even close.
All right, you do it then.
No. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to shame myself.
Yeah,
How
don't
about
even try.
You fucking try it. Roar, motherfuckers. Roar.
We did it finally.
I got the eye of the tiger.
Oh, God.
Fire. Dancing in the something. Because I am a champion. And
I was trying to do that
And I
as
did-
softly as possible. Nick, could you even hear me doing it?
And I did.
I could hear you.
Okay.
How bad was that halftime show with the lion?
What?
When she sang Roar on
What?
top of the lion. When Katy Perry sang Roar on top of the lion at the Super Bowl.
I don't remember what. I don't know what you're talking
That was
about.
like 9 years
don't-
ago. What are you talking
What?
The
about?
only thing about that I remember is left shark.
Left Shark. Also, what's the deal with Left Shark? Why was Left Shark getting all the credit and Right Shark was just sort of shat on?
Well, because everyone thought that left shark was like half a step behind,
Oh, is that what it was?
but it could have been that right shark was just fucking up,
oh, okay.
but everyone just focused on left shark.
I see.
I don't.
It's like left Twix versus right Twix. It doesn't really matter.
Why do people care so much about this kind of thing?
Because
that was
the
a
internet
pretty-
is fucking stupid.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, though. Left Twix and Right Twix was
That's a
a
great
pretty
bit.
great marketing gimmick.
it's still going on.
It's hilarious.
They still
It's still
sell
going
them
on.
individually?
They still, at Central, when I'm like looking for a snack or something, you can buy either both lefts or both right Twix.
It's just a ripoff of the Mike and Ike's campaign.
What's the mic?
Oh, it's exactly the same thing.
It's
So
when
they were
Mike
doing
and
this
Ike
thing where
split up,
Mike
so
and
they were
Ike,
selling Mikes and Ikes.
yeah. So they had they had the regular logo, but on half of them Mike was scratched off.
There was a fall.
and half of them Ike was scratched.
Well,
That's
that was the
actually really
joke,
clever.
is that they like had a disagreement and they split the company up.
And yeah, and then like the whole thing was like, oh,
Which
they
I don't
came
even
back
think the guy
together
in charge
to
of the
introduce
company-
new flavors.
All right.
I don't even think there really is a Mike or an Ike.
Oh God,
I
no.
think it's just bullshit.
I have a question about Twix. Perhaps this is a stupid question, but forgive me. If I split a Twix in half and I'm looking at a left side of the Twix,
Well, they're not together. They
What do
don't come. They're not like Kit Kats.
what are they?
They're like two separate candy bars.
Fine. But okay, I peel them apart. I'm looking at a left Twix. If I just turn the left Twix upside down,
Still a left Twix.
it becomes a right Twix,
no, it's
doesn't
still
it?
a left Twix.
What's the fucking difference?
See, one is drizzled in caramel and coated in chocolate.
Oh, this fucking piece
One
of
is
shit. This is,
poured caramel.
this is
and coated in chocolate.
this is the nerd shit you were
It's
talking
the same
about
shit.
earlier.
It was a commercial, and they were like, "Oh no, we do
Nico,
it."
I think you're giving it more credit than you should even. It's not even about turning it around or anything like that, okay?
Yeah.
They are the exact same bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no discernible difference.
There's
That's
no
the joke.
difference. It's not even like you're
So they just changed the label is all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just made one is because the whole thing was like, oh, people either like either the left Twix or the right Twix. So
which
they had
nobody
two
ever said that, by the way.
So they had like
Right.
two separate factories in the commercials doing one was only making lefts, one was only making rights.
Right.
It's a great marketing.
I'm
Like,
just thinking, like, can you imagine how inefficient that was? Like, oh, we got to ship all these left Twix and the right Twix to the shipping plant so they can be assembled. Like,
yeah.
I
what
like
is
the
this?
idea of just like splitting the left and right Twix apart and then throwing out the right Twix.
Yeah.
Just because you're not going to use it as part of the.
That was it. That was one of the
candy bar.
commercials.
That is great. It's
Yeah.
like on Seinfeld, the episode.
Oh my god, you and I think of the same fucking thing.
No,
every time. It's weird.
Yeah.
Stop thinking of Seinfeld.
No, they have this idea to only sell the tops of muffins.
tops of muffins, yeah.
Yes, and they call the
Yeah.
restaurant Top of the Muffin to you.
Yeah.
and
then
they
the
just
homeless.
and they feed the bottoms to the homeless.
And they get
You know what's-
offended by that.
You
which
know
is-
what? You know what's really funny though, is you can buy muffin tins that just make the top of a muffin.
I love the top of a muffin, though.
Who doesn't?
Much more than
But
the bottom.
it's okay again though. It's not a muffin top if you don't make the whole muffin.
Yes.
You
Yes.
understand the inherent
Yes.
problem with this model. If you're just making something that looks like a muffin top, you're just making a full muffin. It's just shorter.
What is it if it's just a muffin top? Wouldn't we have to rename it at that point?
That's what I mean. It's not a muffin top.
Well, it's like
same like a left Twix is a Twix with the left side.
And it's like in Big Bang, Sheldon goes to order a half sandwich, and he's like, well, where's the other half of the sandwich? And
Right.
they're like, no, it's just a small sandwich.
Right.
Well, why call it a half sandwich? Just call it a small sandwich.
It's not. You're really jipping me. I want to know that you cut it in half and threw out the other part rather than
Right.
giving it to a family in need.
I want to be able to be, which part do I want? The left half. I want that half. I want to see it cut and you throw the other half out.
in the garbage.
Yes. I don't want someone else to get my other half sandwich. That's fucking bullshit.
Your left or their left?
Yes. I want both, damn it. It's just a sandwich.
It's confusing now. I'm really lost.
Come up on the mic,
I
bro.
literally-
You took a vacation while you were telling that joke.
You
I
were in a
could
different
see
time
it.
zone.
I could literally see it on his face.
This guy
as
went
he's
to the
about
break
to say,
room mid-podcast.
Come up on
and
the
kept
fucking
podcasting.
mic.
How far
God
back
damn
in
it,
no
Nico,
man's
you
land did you just go
stupid-
right now? Oh, my Lord. Anyway, what are you holding?
What?
Is that a gold-plated letter opener?
Yes.
So gay.
Why are you holding that?
I feel like
Because it is mine.
Adam would make a movie with that weapon.
That weapon?
Yeah.
Why would I make a movie with that
I
weapon?
could see you, just
no.
stroking that weapon
no.
in the bathtub.
Well, would I be like licking
While
it?
covered in a bottle of this shit.
I'm just
Stabbing
playing
my-
Adam.
ooh, everyone
I'm
loves
playing
this
the
shit.
role of Adam.
I want to sell this shit.
This is a great bit for an episode we didn't do.
Yes.
One day we're going to do it.
Again?
You know what we should? No, you know what we should do? Live commentary.
Oh Jesus.
DVD commentary.
Of exposition.
You want me to comment on?
the director's cut, except
The
like
director's
Exposition
cut.
about exposition.
yeah, you'll
for a
tell
murder.
stories about it. I love it. Exposition for an exposition for a murder. I love it.
Write this down, write this down.
And we'll do like a deep. This, by the way, listeners, is Adam's short film that
One of the many short films, supposedly.
No, this is
Many?
his only one.
The only one.
How many? About 3.
No need
Okay.
to brag about the size of your IMDb page, bro. So we did an episode once, the three of us, when Adam wasn't here, and we were going to surprise him with like,
By the way,
surprise,
Nick.
we did an episode about your movie.
By the way, Nick, on that day when you were gonna surprise me with the film, Nick's like, "Oh, I saw your movie the day you recorded it," and I'm just
Nick,
like,
you
not,
suck.
not being subtle at all. I'm just like, "Oh, like you checked it out," and you're just like, "Yeah, I checked it out. It was weird as fuck."
I checked it out with some friends.
It's just like,
Yeah.
no chill.
And then we talked about it for an hour.
I know. Well, you talked about it for an hour.
We did.
We went.
I mean,
we
yeah, we
treated
did.
it as like an
Why?
actual movie.
Yeah.
And like we like.
Oh.
And like we didn't name you.
I heard about.
We were just like it's just some unknown director.
So it was
Some
this really
asshole.
fun episode that I was excited to release, and then something happened and the file crashed and we couldn't
Yeah.
release it. But one day, I'm telling you, we're going to do like a director's commentary, but instead of you like telling stories about the movie, we're just going to make fun of you.
Okay.
And I think we'll
It's
release
very-
that as a bonus episode.
Very easy to do when watching that thing.
Oh, very easy. We had no shortage of jokes the last
Okay,
time we
yeah.
did it.
I mean, we could do that if we watched that thing wearing blindfolds and earplugs. We could still make fun of you pretty easily. so.
Yeah, I could find a way.
Wearing blindfolds and earplugs.
I could think up a few jokes. For sure. Anyway,
What's
y'all, a couple weeks ago, we did a documentary about a movie called Roar. And this week, we're doing that movie. Finally, without further ado. As
I
selected
don't know
by
if
Adam
that's
Hall.
actually the name. I think it's just Roar. I don't think you actually need to like.
say
do
it
a
as
roar.
as a dying line.
There's no like exclamation point at the end of it, like mother. or
Yeah,
anything.
actually, it's just
roar, roar.
which is weird because then mother becomes mother.
Mother.
No, but it's all lowercase, so it's kind of like, mother.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what it is. Airplane, too, same thing.
But that's all
Yeah.
uppercase. That's just airplane, like screaming at the top of your lungs.
Airplane! It's funny, the danger isn't the airplane.
Yeah.
The danger is the fact that everybody's dying on the plane.
They ate the fish.
Roar. Adam, you selected this movie, so I'll give you the first word on this.
Sorry, Adam and I are doing an inside joke.
Is it a nice visual inside joke?
It's a great visual joke.
God damn it!
Let it hang there. Tell me about Roar, Adam Hall.
Zach just made me laugh, guys. Anyway,
Yeah, we just went over that.
Yeah, I know, but I need to express how good that actually was. Solid. Anyway, yeah, Roar. What do you want me to say about Roar? Like how I found it?
Yeah, I want you to speak your mind.
Yeah, well, I don't
Get
know.
anything you want off your chest.
I was perusing the internet for weird, shitty movies to watch, and yeah.
Don't worry about it.
And yeah, I came across this movie and I was like, oh, well, this looks interesting. And then I read up on it a little, and it's like notorious as the most dangerous film ever made. And then I saw a review for it online, and I'm like, okay, we got to fucking watch this. And that was just kind of that. But I don't know why I'd said we should do the documentary first.
No, you didn't.
Did I?
No, you said that we should do the movie, but we were still doing documentary month.
Okay.
And then I think somebody found out that there was a documentary on it, so we're like, let's do that.
Did you say there was a documentary?
I might have.
Nick, did you say it?
I
It
feel
wasn't
like
me, no.
I feel like it was Nico who mentioned the fact that there's a documentary. He's like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's an
I
interesting...
think it is Nico's fault.
Maybe it's always Nico's fault.
I think he went to go like look up the movie and saw there was a documentary, so he said, "Fuck it, let's do it."
It was
know
a decent precursor to what we just watched, though.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say the
honestly.
same thing.
I'm glad we
agree.
did it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, at first I was a little dubious. I thought that the documentary might ruin the surprise of Roar. But all it really did was set up context. And there were several times during the movie where we turned to each other and said that the documentary didn't do it justice.
Yeah.
There's like stuff in this movie that's so fucking crazy. It's like, why would, and like, you know, for example, like they talk about Tippi Hedren breaking her ankle, and they talk about Jan de Baan getting scalped, etc., etc. They don't talk about the fact that a dude drives a motorcycle off of the roof and just takes a dive right into the lake. Could have easily gotten hurt or killed during that scene.
Yeah.
Right, and that wasn't even a cat wasn't even involved.
Right.
No, just a stunt.
That was just a stupid,
Yeah.
crazy thing.
They put Tippi Hedren in a barrel and they
Pushed her down a ramp.
pushed her down a ramp like somebody going down Niagara Falls. Like, it's really crazy what they put these people through in spite of the lions and tigers.
Well, I mean, but granted, the documentary wasn't that on like Animal Planet or something.
True.
Yeah.
Like so they were going to focus on the animals, but
Well, if I'm being honest, though, after watching that documentary, I actually think it made the movie more interesting for me.
Yeah, I
in a
feel
lot
the
of
same
ways.
way.
Because I was thinking about, I was like, how would I have viewed this movie if I didn't know anything about it? And I probably would have said, like, okay, this is not fun at all. Nothing's happening. It's just people running away from lions.
well, and it's one of those things where because we saw the documentary, when we saw it on the film, we were like, oh no, this is the scene where somebody gets scalped.
Right.
Where if we were just
Somebody
watching it, it'd be like, oh, well, those lions are fairly aggressive, but everybody's fine.
Right. And it also gives you a sense of danger, too.
I mean, every scene is like nerve-wracking.
Right.
I love it.
I think had we had watched it without the documentary, and I guess they included a little title card at the beginning too that was like, these are untrained animals and they did whatever they want.
Yeah.
But they had like a lot of goofy music underneath it, especially at the end when they're chasing them through the house and the family's trying to get away. And it's like sort of cartoonish and very Disney as the lions are 2 feet away from their faces. And I don't think that would have necessarily given us the intended sort of emotion that the documentary gave us, which was, oh yeah, several people got sent to the hospital. And indeed, these are not trained animals that are doing as their commanders wish. These are just wild animals fighting each other because that's what animals do. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I'm actually glad that we watched it in the order that we did. The movie, however, has absolutely no plot.
No.
Like, zero plot.
Well, okay.
Well, actually, yeah, it's not
No,
entirely
it
true.
has some semblance of a plot, I suppose. I mean, the plot kind of honestly revolves around Noel getting back to his family.
Right.
Sort of. That's really... Which
Well,
is,
there's a few
but
things.
there-
There's like the poachers
yeah.
who we see all of 10 minutes of
That's
in the entire
that's,
movie.
It's a weak-ass subplot. Which
And then
is,
and then you have Noel's family trying to survive
Yes.
because they've
There's
never
a
seen
bigger
a lion.
problem here.
What's
There's
it?
a much bigger problem.
What is
right?
it?
Is it the
It's
lions?
not that there's no plot. I mean, it's that the poorly done several subplots all directly like argue against the point the movie's trying to
Yes.
Yes.
Great point.
make. That's the bigger problem, right?
I think I
The whole point of this movie is that like these animals are beautiful, great creatures, and we can coexist with them. Really, and yet at every turn, people are being terrorized by these animals. These lions literally kill the poachers. They
Yes.
die.
Eats them.
The entire plot is the family is there with the lions, and everything they have is being destroyed. The lions are biting and attacking them, and they are trying to get away. Even Noel, he's saying these lions are beautiful creatures, and yet he's constantly breaking up fights between the lions who are trying to kill each other.
Well, we can let them kill each other. That's fine. It doesn't really matter to me. But
That's just nature.
that's just nature. Yes, correct.
Yeah, they
But-
don't really like earn their theme.
Well,
You know what I mean? They sort of they go through all this trouble being like stay away from the animals, and then at the end of the movie when they all somehow survive because of like an act of God, basically, they're like, oh, after all, we can sleep with the animals in our beds and cuddle with them as though they're plush toys.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this. I have a note in here, and I mean, I don't want to get to the whole meat of this entire podcast of what I want to talk about right away.
Oh, okay.
I'm
God.
No pun
I wanna
intended,
provide-
by the way.
nah.
No pun intended.
Okay.
But really, this is not a movie until they start getting along with the animals. Before that, it's just like a stunt show. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
And once they start getting along with them, that's when it actually becomes a movie.
Yeah.
And then
Kinda, yeah.
roll credits.
And I mean that in more ways than just with the cats. I mean, I'll get into it more later, but
Well, get into it now. Let's get right into it. We can go
Sure,
through the
I mean-
specifics later. Go ahead, do your thing.
Well, oh, he has like something to say.
Yeah, he's got like a notepad.
I do.
He has an
I do.
essay, an expository essay.
Thesis.
here's the thing. So early on in the movie, right? So this guy Noel, but I don't remember all the characters' names. It might be just Noel. I don't know. But the basic idea is that he is this like cat scientist, and he's housing all these cats, and his family's coming to try to visit. What?
I love that job title.
Cat scientist. Yeah, that's
Researcher.
what he is. No, he's a cat scientist.
He's just a dude in a lab coat that goes,
But he's
meow.
But he's also apparently like a doctor because he was like helping people in the very beginning.
Yeah,
And, like
well-
the first shot, he's like dressing wounds.
Absolutely no reason for that as well. I mean, I don't know.
Of course not.
Like humanitarian work in Africa.
But his family is coming to visit him. They've been estranged, and as you're watching the family, they talk about how the mother and father here separated because they weren't having a good marriage. Right? You remember this part?
Yes.
Now, the reason that's important is because, I mean, it's only because we watched the documentary that I was able to put these things together here. They talk about how the making of this movie actually caused like the real life divorce
Yes.
of these two.
I don't remember that in the
Oh
documentary.
yeah, no, they mentioned.
Yeah, so
They talk
after it
about
was
that.
all like filmed and everything like that, and then they were like, "Well, now what?"
Okay.
But here's the
Noel
thing: I don't
and
think it
Tippy
was
were just-
after it was filmed.
No,
I
no,
think
it
that-
was the whole thing was done, and then they were like, "We just can't do this anymore," and then they split.
Yes.
Yes, that's when they got divorced, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's when it began. I think that this movie is not a movie. I think that 90% of this movie is real life to this guy. I mean, he actually did live with the cats. He actually did have a bad marriage. And
Well, some of the character names are actually unchanged.
I think most of them
Most
are
of them are.
unchanged.
Because like
I think it's
Melanie
'cause they were-
Griffith goes by Melanie in the movie.
And then there was
Yeah, because I think they were like filming, and then shit happened, and they were like, "Melanie," and
then
then
there
they were
was-
just like, "Well, we can't go back now."
But then there was Jack and John, and those are unchanged as well. I don't know if they probably changed Tippy. I would imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine too.
And Noel is called Hank.
Okay.
yeah, okay. But the thing is, the reason I say the only part of the movie that's actually a movie is the end is because at the end, him and his wife are back together. They're happy again. They're living with the cats. And then in reality, what we know from the documentary, none of that happened for real. They got divorced. I mean, and the reason this movie was meant so much to him, the reason that he was never able to say a deal was good enough to sell the movie is because this wasn't a movie to him. This was his life. He was trying to hold his life together. And he was hoping that this movie could actually save his marriage. And I think that just shows the delusion of this guy.
This is quite a theory,
Interesting.
which I think I subscribe to for about 60% of it. I think you're right. Yeah, this is a fantasy movie for this one particular guy, and it's not a fantasy for anybody else.
Right, and just the end.
Right.
Just the end, really, where everything ends up happy. That's the
Right.
part that's just like, that's not what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting.
I mean, this guy literally, they sold their house. He put all of his money behind this movie. He never signed a deal with anybody because no deal was good enough. I mean, this is obsession. And he's made movies before this, and he didn't act that way.
And I think spent what, $19 million or something?
Yeah.
Yes,
$17 million
On the
budget
production of just this movie.
right, and did not
And I
gross any. Was not released until like 2 years ago.
Right, and I think that's one of the things that the documentaries kind of missed about this movie, is that to him it's just not a movie. This guy is delusional.
You could make a very interesting movie about like an actual narrative film about the making of this film. I think.
Oh yeah,
Really
God, yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Like the Disaster Artist kind of
Yeah.
style.
Yeah. Exactly.
exactly. For oh my god, that'd be great. Now, would you shoot that with real tigers and lions?
I would shoot it with real lions, actually, but yeah, they'd have
Just
to be
get trained.
Yeah, that detail. Or if I'm being respectful towards the originator here, I use totally untrained lions, right?
But just the one,
Just that
and we
one.
just copy him.
But this one kills everybody.
I will say this.
And it's not even about Roar. Now it's just that Lion is loose.
A whole new movie about the making of this one. Oh, that's so cool.
A movie about the making of the movie about the making of Roar. Not too shabby.
That would get made today. Let's be honest.
It does make me think.
Starring
how-
Seth Rogen.
Yes.
As the lion,
Ooh.
Probably.
he just voices the lion.
James Franco would be Hank.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I can see this now. This
Movie ain't too shabby. Ain't too shabby.
No.
Michael Cera is just there,
just
hanging out.
He just gets attacked, and that's it. Just
Oh, yeah,
randomly.
he'd get killed. That's
just-
what he would do.
He's on screen for an accumulative 5 seconds, and he just gets attacked, and that's it. That's Michael Cera.
He plays the lemur that gets eaten by the lions.
Why are we trying to remake Lion
But it's
King?
just him in a suit.
Right.
No, I'm
Like
not
he's
gonna
not-
lie to you.
like he's
I can
not doing
see
the
this
voice.
movie I can see this movie in theaters tomorrow. Like, I know that we joke about this kind of thing a lot, but this is like,
Oh, no,
I can see this.
I can see Seth Rogen actually picking this up and be like, "That's not
This
a bad
actually-
idea."
This isn't a bad script.
Oh no!
It's like no, seriously though, it's really not a bad script. The making of Roar is not terrible.
yeah,
We should conjure. Is Tippy still around? Right?
I think it's
Yeah, but I don't
really
think she's acted
interesting.
in-
Yeah.
What do you mean? Is she still
long
around?
time.
Like, she dead? Is that what
No,
you
no,
mean?
no, she's still around.
She's 89. She's up there in age.
Her
Yeah.
her last hurrah she produces whatever movie this is.
I'm gonna contact Tippy.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I
You're
am.
not.
I'll contact Tippy. I'm working on a script.
Do it right now.
All right, I'll call her. I'll give Tippy
So,
a call.
but you're not gonna write the script unless she says yes.
Yeah, of course. You got to get her to sign off.
In which case we just wait till she's dead.
No, can't do that.
No, you can't.
No. Get a respect for the great Tippy Hedren.
True.
Of the birds and Roar and nothing else.
No, Marnie.
Wow, animals
Marnie.
really do not like this woman.
No.
No. Definitely. And it's so
Just
funny
attack
because
her.
she loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's about.
It's funny because in the birds they used real birds at times. Yeah, and they clawed at her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
They actually. How? How'd they do that?
Hitchcock took birds and threw them at her.
Gonna say, what do you mean how? There's birds. They attack. How do it?
He's got dummy.
action.
He's got no, literally. He's got dummy birds, a real bird. Dummy birds, real bird.
That leads me to ask this question.
Wait a minute. Fucking Alfred Hitchcock caught Tippy off guard. Didn't tell her that he was going to be throwing birds at her.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
You're saying
Yeah,
he
I'm
threw.
picturing like Alien-esque, where like none of the actors know what's going on.
I mean, he
Could've
is the
been.
master of suspense.
True. He might have done. Knowing Hitchcock, he might have done that.
He might have. Yeah.
All I know is that like the scene where she goes up to inspect the attic, they're actually just chucking birds at her.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
all
shit.
they do. Yeah.
That's so funny.
So.
Give me another one.
And another
What's
one.
what's
And another.
next? You think
No,
in
no, no,
Vertigo
no, no,
they
not,
were
no, not that
actually
one.
high up?
Give me the Raven. I want the Raven. Give me the.
Bring me the owl.
Bring me the owl.
Nick, that's a great dad joke that everybody just glossed over.
totally
I want to
missed
give you
it.
credit for it.
What'd he say?
I want
Thanks, bud.
to give you
What'd
credit.
he say?
He goes, "What's next in Vertigo? They were actually high up." Good joke.
Thank you.
That was good.
Are you
working
telling
on
me
that
she
one
was
all week.
actually taking a shower in Psycho?
North by Northwest was actually filmed in the Northwest.
Rear Window actually had a window.
I love Rear Window.
Any more?
Great movie.
Anybody? Hitchcock jokes?
They actually stabbed her in the shower.
Ooh. Any more Hitchcock
Yeah,
jokes?
but they didn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But see here.
I could say something about Notorious, but no one here has seen Notorious.
You're such a fucking loser.
Notorious is good.
Do you remember
Notorious
that?
is
Do you remember the
good.
Hitchcock episode of Psych?
No, never watched
Yes.
it.
Nick?
Such a good show.
Good review.
that Nick, I think that sums it up.
That sound.
I could write an IMDb review for Psych. Just 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 pineapples out
I
of
like
10
their
10
pineapples.
pineapples, yeah.
I really like their Friday the 13th.
Yo, did you see the video about the pineapples the other day?
What are you
What?
talking about?
Oh, where the woman takes the things off and
The internet's freaking out because they discovered like the real way to eat pineapples.
Well, okay,
my
everybody
God.
says this is the right way to eat it, but
No, but it like eluded everybody. Apparently, you can like peel a pineapple.
like
what?
like you know like the little spiny things?
Yeah, the spine
Prongs,
acts
thorns,
as like a handle
toothpick.
almost, like a
Like a
toothpick.
banana?
So, like,
You
if
can
you
peel it
grab
like
one-
a
Yeah.
banana?
So if you grab one and sort of like wiggle it and like rip it off,
Yeah.
there's a chunk of pineapple sitting on it and it's like a pineapple on a toothpick.
Yeah, you have like a perfectly it's like exactly nature's toothpick is what it is.
I'm still not going to eat a pineapple though.
Okay, I just want to point that out to everybody.
Just
I gotta see.
Thank you
This
for that
might
life
be
hack.
this might be the best evidence for God that we've had. Yet.
I mean,
This. Giving us a
that's
break.
pretty good.
no, the best evidence.
Do you know
is that old
anybody
Ben
who
Franklin quote.
buys a whole pineapple, though?
Yes.
I mean,
No, I'm just
I
saying.
actually know a few people who buy
Well,
pineapples and cut them themselves.
now
Well, you
people
would.
might start.
I eat pineapples. I like pineapples. I like
yeah, but
that.
you don't buy a whole pineapple. Like,
Sure.
who does that?
No, I've bought whole pineapples and
It's a good torture device.
I'm sorry.
shoving
Like throw it at people. It's all pointy.
shove
and
it up
shit.
their ass.
You know what else is a good torture device?
What?
Throwing birds.
Yeah, pretty good.
Throwing lions at people.
Anyway, back
Good
to
segue.
Roar. Yeah.
And
Anyway,
then we come back.
my question: how did this movie remain on the cutting room floor for 30 years?
Good question.
Because there is some crazy out there shit, and Adam and I kept commenting on this throughout the entire movie. The cinematography is actually quite impressive.
That was some
I
really
noted
good
that as
shots.
well. I noted that as well.
Very good looking film. And honestly, it's funny how, because they were talking in the documentary about like some of the best animal footage ever shot, and I was like, well, what do they really mean by that? But it was even just some of the close-ups of these lions just drinking water,
Right.
sometimes, and how like kind of oddly fascinating it is at times.
There was something I took note on this scene. The scene where they all woke up the next day and all the tigers and lions and animals are out, just going through all of their luggage, and like one of them's like a young cub is like learning to ride a skateboard, and they're just like chewing on a radio and fighting over clothing.
And the shoe is
I mean,
stuck on the tooth. And
Right, there was something just beautiful about that.
I could not agree more.
But there's something about the mixture of elements here and just the way they behave and interact with all of it. It's like I haven't seen anything like that before, and I've seen plenty of nature docs and whatnot. But
Yeah.
you know, there's something about them interacting with people like this that's just cool.
no, it is. It's easy to make fun of Jan because he was practically scalped while making this movie.
And
Andy's
nothing's funnier than a guy losing his scalp.
Yeah,
Andy's an asshole.
Andy's a dick. But then you see it and you're like, oh well, that's okay. I understand why he was this crazy for it.
No, he like shot the shit out of this movie.
It was-
yeah.
I
I
think
think
he did some incredible work.
one of my favorite shots is when the guy's in the locker that's tipped over,
Yeah.
and the lion is sort of sniffing at it,
Right.
and it's just the view from inside the locker onto
It's
the
so
lion.
Yeah,
clever.
I love
It was-
that
it
shot.
was
Isn't
a
it so
great
clever
shot.
how
Yeah.
They did a lot of that, like inside the barrel
The
too.
barrel, yeah,
Yeah.
fucking.
Oh,
that was
my
such an
god,
awesome
great
shot.
work.
Yeah.
They had him underwater holding his breath, and then as they poked their head out, it was really the point of view shots. Or when Tippy was rolling off the roof and they put the camera in the barrel and showed you her point of view going
Yeah.
down to the lake.
But but then it wasn't even just that. Like some of the choices that they went with certain shots, but it was capturing specific moments and how much personality is actually in these animals.
Right.
Like the scene where the tigers are on the boat and it just starts to sink and tip over, which is hilarious. By the way,
it's hysterical.
But there's that one tiger that's just holding on. He's like, what's going on, guys? Oh,
And
it's going down. Okay, it's going down.
and he's just visibly confused. But like you can tell he's not afraid.
No, exactly.
He's just like, oh, what? Oh, interesting.
Okay, cool. Oh, I'm down.
Yeah, it's kind of that is the funny thing about this movie is that the lions and tigers aren't in on the joke.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Right.
it's sort of like in The Room where Tommy Wiseau has this vision for what the movie's supposed to be, and none of his supporting cast shares that vision.
Yeah.
It's sort of the same thing here, except with animals. It's like Noel Marshall knows exactly what he wants this movie to be, and he wants these lions and tigers to look terrifying and intimidating. But what you ultimately see is that these lions and tigers don't give a shit about the production of this movie, and you almost relate to them more than you do the human beings.
Yep. It's every time when they're not fighting each other.
Yeah.
All the cats and everything, they look like, if you're like holding something and you're like, oh, I wonder if this breaks, and it breaks.
Right.
Like if you have like one of those like old shitty plastic rulers and it snaps, and you're not like concerned, but you're just like, oh. Like that's what all of the lions look like all the time.
Right. It's like, maybe I broke this, but
Yeah, but
that's
It felt like, especially the beginning, it kind of felt like Home Alone, except like the humans coming into the lion's territory were the invaders, and like
right.
they were all just like, I don't know,
they were the burglars,
Right,
and all of
right.
the cats were Kevin.
it's just
So I think you were spot on, Nico, when you were saying how you're definitely more like in touch with the animals.
Yeah.
It shows a strange, playful side,
yeah.
which you don't think of when you think of wild African and Asian cats.
They're just cats.
Well, you see,
Yeah, that's what it comes off
the
as.
weird thing is that
If you gave them a big old ball of yarn, they would go crazy.
well, that was the
Got
thing.
many laser pointers.
You watch it and it's like, oh, I've seen cats do that. I've seen cats act that
Right.
way, like just normal house cats. And
Like
it's,
when they jump on the shelves and
Yeah.
knock everything over because they're way
Yeah.
too big.
yep.
But
That's a
that's
very
the
cat
terrifying thing, though. The terrifying thing is that they do act like normal cats, but it's like, what would happen if your tiny house cat became a lion and just like grew 20 times its size?
But I said
Yeah.
that would be a really cool thing if they kept the domesticated house cat vibe.
It would be.
And they were just the size of a lion.
My cats still scratch me, Zach.
No,
I don't
that's-
want
yeah,
them
I
to get
know.
big.
Exactly. No, exactly. That's funny.
No, but that's my point, though. It's like, I
would die.
Yeah, my experience with a cat has never been positive. I've only had negative experiences with cats.
Well, you
my
just
entire
don't
life.
like animals and they don't like you.
Well, that's true. But cats specifically are sort of vicious towards humans because they have this, like, get the fuck off me complex.
Sure.
And I just imagine what would that be like if it was 2 to 3 times the size of me. And that's exactly what you got in this movie. Not like a, like, conniving or evil or devilish sort of aggression. It's just sort of I'm a cat, and this is what cats do, and everything else is collateral damage.
Well, the thing I notice about cats specifically is that they just, which is ironic about this movie more than anything, is that cats just, they will show you affection on their own time. They like it
Right.
when you
Yeah.
give them their space, which is ironic after watching this movie. Given the fact that no cats were ever given their own space.
No.
It's like, leave me the fuck alone.
Well, no, but then even then when you get like the tigers in the car
Yeah.
and they're just sort of driving along.
How crazy was that scene, by the way?
Yeah, the tigers weren't like the tigers weren't like, oh my god, what's happening? They were just like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
Because it seemed like they just wanted to be there.
Like the level of curiosity with these animals is kind of what made the film for me. I
Yeah.
really loved seeing it.
You know what these 400-pound clawed murder machines need? The speed of an ATV. Like, what are you doing?
A V8 motor. Perfect. What could possibly go wrong?
Dude, it's the
Let's
best.
just teach them to drive and give them guns. I mean,
It is the best. Yeah, here's the thing. What are you doing?
I'm shooting Zach with my. I saw this stand and I was like, oh, I can make a gun out of this. No.
Now I have his gun.
No.
And now hit him with it,
No,
please.
no, don't hit me with it.
I will loosen all these up so that it's like a flail.
Oh Jesus, that would hurt.
Yeah, I really like this movie. I think that's what we're coming to here. I really like this movie. I think it's a pretty good movie.
No, I was
But it's
watching
like-
it.
Go ahead.
it's like a documentary of a movie almost. Like, you're not watching the movie for the story.
I would
Right.
rather watch like an hour on Nat Geo about lions.
I
though.
disagree. It's for some reason
No.
this felt more real to me.
Well, when you
than
add-
like the Planet Earth slow motion lion attacks a
No,
gazelle.
no. I'm not saying like stuff like that. Like if it was on Nat Geo and they were just like, okay, here's an hour of lion footage.
There's
I would rather watch that and
Have you
not
guys
have it
ever-
like as like special effects added, not slowed down.
But there's
and
something
like that.
about the human interaction element to it
Right.
that just makes it all the more nerve-wracking and just
Yes,
interesting.
exactly
I agree.
right.
I don't know,
Very
it did-
interesting.
I mean, I enjoyed it. It didn't grip me as much as I think it gripped you guys.
But have you
go
guys
ahead.
seen this thing? There's this YouTube channel called Big Cat Rescue. My girlfriend watches it a lot.
Okay, no.
But it's basically, they have these. I think it's at some zoos or conservation places, wildlife places. But they have these obviously giant tigers, lions, etc. But they give them like giant cat toys. And they just videotape them like tearing these things apart and playing with them, and it's just basically you're just watching like a house cat but huge.
Right.
And they're very fun videos to watch if you guys want to see. It's kind of the same thing. They give them like a huge ball or like giant like things they can climb made of cardboard, and they just tear the cardboard to shreds. And
Yeah, there's something.
you don't see that on Nat Geo.
Right. I understand that Nat Geo is more quote unquote real because that is actually where lions and tigers live. But to me, a house is real. A group of people and a car and a motorcycle, that's real. The African desert is not necessarily real to me. I can't relate to it as much as I can relate to Roar.
It's not real. It's just not your environment, plain
Right.
and simple.
Well, that's his point.
So yeah,
it's-
just putting it into context for me specifically, I think is what this movie did so well. And you're right. I don't buy into the story, but that is almost more fascinating than if I did. It to me that made it way more scary is how I've gotten in trouble for saying this word before, but how mundane it was. You know what I'm saying?
No, again, mundane or like normalized.
I think mundane. No, I think the word
Mundane.
I'm using. I think I'm using.
I
the
would
word
not call this movie mundane.
I think I'm using the word mundane correctly in this context.
Good call. Good callback.
Or whatever.
Plot-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Plot-wise, yes. But I was also going to say that the lack of plot actually made it more fun to watch for me.
Yeah.
Because I would have been so out of it if they got like really story heavy with it.
Right.
Honestly, so
Right.
I agree.
You can tell this movie was made with a love for these animals, though.
Absolutely.
Right from the start, they're putting them in the credits and everything.
Perhaps a misguided love,
Yeah,
Very misguided.
but a love nonetheless.
and you can also tell by the shots they took, like we said, and not just the shots they took, but the fact that I guess the amount of those shots that they actually used. I mean, there was more footage of these animals than was probably necessary to make the movie, right? Mm-hmm. It made the movie better, but they could have told the story without all of these shots of just cats. And I'll even give you one example here. When the family starts finally being like, oh, they're so nice and we can play with them and pet them and stuff. I don't know if you guys caught this, but they had this sort of sound loop of them all talking over each other and saying like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. Oh, look how great they are. Right. And they actually played that sound loop twice with the same dialogue.
I didn't
Because
know
they
that.
had-
notice.
Because I heard, I believe it was Tippi Hedren saying, like, look how beautiful she is. And then, like, a minute or two later, she goes, look how beautiful she is. Just sort of in the background. The exact same line.
I've seen
And I
that
think the
happen.
reason was because they had more footage of these animals than they had lines.
Right.
Sure.
So they're like, let's just loop it and put more cats in there.
Oh, there was a terrible loop when he was with the African dude, where he's talking about sleeping with his wife or whatever.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was
I don't
that
know if it was
line?
I don't think it was a loop. I think it was just they overdubbed it with some story, and then there was
the
nah, let's
loop-
fuck it.
And now I'm being nerdy here. Looping is just another term for dubbing, but
I'm gonna go
Well,
downstairs
that's
and get
not
this.
what I meant.
yeah, okay. I should have just said dubbed. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, dubbing. Yeah, it was a terrible dub.
I hate him. Can you feel my anger right now towards him?
Can you feel
So
mine?
wait, what is
Yes.
what is Looper really about then? Now I'm
Looper-
confused.
That's a good movie.
Looper's about some sad sack that works at Warner Brothers that has to correct James Franco's dialogue midway through a movie.
Oh, we got to get rid of the F word for TV.
Yeah, no, he's the guy that during Goodfellas they had to replace fucking with freaking.
Oh,
What am
he's-
I, a
he-
freaking clown?
No, I
Oh,
love
what
when
are we
they do
doing
it, they
today? You're
replace
saying
it with the
freaking?
most-
Okay.
Can I ask you a
They
question?
replace it with the most random stuff.
Oh,
Right.
that's the
Yeah.
worst. No, like Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon is the best. It is the best. I love it.
What does that mean?
It's the
What is Mr. Falcon?
They were just like, we need something that has an M and an F.
Yeah, who is Mr. Falcon? His name is Hans.
I think I missed a part of the plot.
Hans Gruber.
AKA.
I can imagine in the
Mr.
TV guide
Falcon.
description, like Hans Gruber, also known as Mr. Falcon.
Parentheses.
Only on AMC.
Right.
The funny thing is, I think Bruce Willis actually loves that dub. I think he's
Well,
actually
sure he does.
he's really fond of that.
That's
one.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, movie dubs are pretty great.
Are you looking it up?
I am looking up some movie dubs.
But my question is, do you prefer it when they replace fucking with freaking, or if they just leave it out altogether?
Just silent.
Yeah, because I like that.
Just
a lot
make it
more.
quiet.
Yeah.
I do. I agree too. I'd rather you bleep it.
Yeah, okay.
Don't taint my movie.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable putting it out there, then you don't deserve to put it out there.
You said taint.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to buy time for Nico to find this thing he's looking for.
So we're making taint jokes? Wow, have we sunk that low?
Ferris Bueller. Pardon my French. You're an aardvark rather than asshole.
Oh God.
What?
Again, just say. Just don't say anything.
I'd rather have a job washing. I'm sorry. The original line is, I'd rather have a job wiping Saddam Hussein's ass. It was dubbed to, I'd rather have a job washing Saddam Hussein's cars.
What?
What? What? Fucking.
Okay.
Bridget
movie?
Jones's Diary.
All right.
Come back here, you steroid.
What?
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 What is it, shithead
You
or
need to give
something?
You need to give
What
us
do you
the
mean?
movie and the
Fuck
quote.
you, you asshole. From Total Recall. Becomes
Was changed to come
back.
back.
Here, you steroid.
They really missed the mark on that one, I think. Just a hunch.
At least the Bridget Jones' one had like it was like okay, it's similar. It's
Not a great job.
not a great job.
The Big Lebowski. You know the line, this is what happens, Larry. This is what happens when you fuck a grown man in the ass. Becomes, this is what happens, Larry. This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
What does that mean?
I'm just thinking of the context of that scene and how little
Oh
sense
my
that makes.
god.
Jackie,
Is that when he's like attacking the car?
This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass,
Yeah.
Larry. Just bangs the car. This is what happens.
I think they're banking on it just being delivered so like
Then you know-
emotionally and everything like that. You're like, oh, I heard F and A. So that's the line.
Okay.
Let me ask you
I think
guys.
that's what that one was.
Yeah.
but-
How do they get these dubs? Do they have the actor read that line?
No, I think
No,
it's just a
it's-
random
yeah.
person. Because this is years after the movie comes out, generally.
You gotta hear the Mr. Falcon one. Sounds it's like a Russian dude. Who
How do
does
they
it.
get
it's
that?
the
Like
funniest thing.
I've seen some of them where they sound like the actor. I mean, do they make an effort
Yeah,
to?
Well, they probably just get people who are close enough, and because when you just hear like two words by someone who's not the actor, you don't really realize, oh, that's not the actor. Even
Right,
if you do, it's
okay.
like, oh, that's sort of close.
Jackie Brown. Freeze, motherfucker, is changed to freeze, moldy fingers.
See, I think they're just going for the. It's sort of
Okay.
kind of sounds like it if you say it quick enough.
That's better.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon was used in Die Hard 2, not the
Yes.
original Die Hard.
Yes, I know.
Oh, it was used in 2.
Yes, I did. I actually knew that. Too. I forgot to mention. Oh, no.
Silence of the Lambs. Your favorite line from Silence of the Lambs, Adam, is what?
Oh,
Is this Would You Fuck
oh,
Me?
would you
Yes.
fuck? Yeah, it was. I'd fuck me so hard.
Would you marry me? I'd marry me. I'd marry me so hard.
Okay. No, I've watched Silence of the Lambs on TV and I've noticed it and I'm like, that's weird.
That's wrong.
Like,
What
just
kind of weird
skip that.
fuck Mary
Just
game
skip that
or
scene.
fuck Mary kill game are they playing?
That's almost more disturbing.
Snakes on a plane. I have had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
Hold on. They didn't even use the same dubbing.
I have had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. I have the line right
That's
here.
almost worse.
I swear to God.
That almost sounds.
clear the snakes out of the cockpit, yeah. Enough is enough! I have had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane! Everybody strap in!
That's Sam Jackson.
That is Sam Jackson.
I think that sounds worse. I think that's worse. I think it's more offensive.
How about Casino? The most swears in the history of motion pictures.
That's not true.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
the Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, Wolf of Wall
gonna
Street
say.
just passed it. I'm sorry. Forget me, you mother forgetter.
Oh God.
That's a good one. That's good. I like
That's
that.
funny.
Oh, God.
No, that's actually, I would say that's a well done dub. Right?
We need to do a power ranking of the best and worst dubs.
That's pretty good. I
Well,
love
that
those.
sounds like a great wise thing topic.
Oh, that's
I think we need
great.
to do it.
Ooh. We just
We
search
need to bring some
movies.
dubs to the tables.
We just
boys.
listen to all the dubs.
A dub draft.
Ooh.
Dub draft.
Should we do another draft?
Can we do it
Ooh.
like first week in June?
Yo, how about? Here's the idea, and I'm just spitballing here.
I like how nobody realized that's when I'm gone. So
We come with a bunch of random words. We have like 100 words, and we draft.
I'm already out.
We draft like 30 words, and then we got to take old movie lines with swears in it and replace those swears with the words that we draft.
Oh my God.
I don't like this.
So Mother Forgetter might be first off the board. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
It's just a thought.
I'm into it.
It's like an extreme version of Mad Libs almost.
I fuck with it.
First week in June. We can do it.
How about last week of May?
Yeah, I like that even better. I like that even
How
better.
about May
A nice-
29th? Do it May 29th. Is when we'll record.
I think the 22nd. I'm just feeling it.
That sounds a little better. Anyway, okay, back to Roar. Can we talk about the specifics of the movie just real quick and on a plot level? Like, there's not really much to talk about. Noel Marshall is hanging out with these lions. His family's coming to visit. He's scheduled to pick them up at the airport. He breaks down on the way to the airport, and they, can't cross paths in between. The family ends up at the house without Noel Marshall's supervision, and, of course, runs into these lions who proceed to destroy everything and harass them. And then at the end of the day, Noel ultimately gets back, and everything is fine.
That is terrifying.
That's basically the plot of the movie, right?
Nick was just throwing
I would
us
say,
with a
yeah, I would
knife.
say that's accurate.
Yeah.
I think you covered all the bases.
Yeah, what were the moments from the documentary that you were most excited to see here? And did they live up to the expectations?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to say right off the bat, none of them lived up to the expectation because the more exciting things happen off screen.
Yeah. Sometimes.
That's
Like-
true.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Like, we seen Noel get bit, and then we're told in the documentary that he told them to film him going to the hospital in the ambulance, but we never saw that footage.
Right. Well, yeah, but they do show the footage after he gets bit. I think he puts a Band-Aid on
Yeah,
Yeah.
and has the wound and is filming with the wound.
right. That was after they wrote the wound into the movie.
Yeah, I
They
guess.
did not show the one where he gets bitten in the leg, though.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, me
As
too.
sort of fucked up as that sounds.
No, but we recognize the scene where that happened.
Yeah.
yeah, I think they just
Sure.
cut that out.
Yeah.
And then obviously Tippy and the elephant.
That was a ooh.
Yeah, but again, like with that, even you don't really see her get.
No, they did a good job of editing around it.
Yeah, it was
honestly.
actually pretty well cut.
Yeah.
The only one where it's like, okay, these guys clearly got fucked up was the scene with the poachers getting attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Which they didn't even talk about poachers
No.
in the documentary. So I think we were all very confused.
Yeah. I didn't know that whole subplot existed.
Very minor subplot.
Yeah.
As far as these being untrained lions, they also did or tigers, etc. They also did a very good job of blocking them.
yeah.
I mean,
or shooting around them, I think.
I was gonna say.
Is
yeah.
the
well,
more
like
appropriate way
one
of putting it.
example I would give you was when the poachers were like shooting them, and they had to fall down this
Yeah, that's
little
true.
cliffside. That was actually relatively well done. I mean, it was obvious that they weren't actually hurt. Like, and it didn't really look realistic, but the fact that they were able to get that shot,
Yes.
3 or 4 times was actually kind of impressive.
That was a sad sequence. I actually was like, oh,
Yeah.
that, like,
That
Towards
like
the end, when they
that made
start
me
getting killed,
uncomfortable.
it's very-
yeah, it did.
is seeing the lions just because I want in my head they're just like throwing the lions down these
Yeah, that's
like,
what I
cliffs.
thought too, yeah.
But it seems like they're trying to get up the cliffs and are just falling. But it still made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they did that. I'm wondering, like, if they sort of taught them to do that, or
They couldn't have though.
No, I think they would. I think they put food or something on top of that the bluff or whatever it was. then the lions were trying to get up there, and they just couldn't get
And
purchase on the rock, and just hoped
that they were going to slide down.
Yeah, and then they did.
If that's the case, then
But they also had the other scene where the lion was crossing the bridge. You remember that, when the same bridge that Tippi Hedren crossed to get on the other side of the windmill? They had the lion walking on that narrow perch, and it's like, how did you get him up there?
They just probably went up there and directed him that way. And
Well,
said, hey, go.
and it's probably like, sort of, it's like eventually they're gonna cross here, so when they get close, we'll have them rush over with the camera and film him walking across the bridge.
well, they also did say, like, I mean, Noel had to sort of move all the lions around, so they did block them. I mean, they did put them in certain places and
hoped that they would do the right thing.
Well, and they also had them do like the scenes like over and over. Like they had the lions running over when they scalped the cinematographer. They did that scene 3 or 4 times, so they had the lions running back down this path 3 or 4 times. So I actually think to call them untrained is not actually 100% accurate. I think they're just not like properly.
They're not professionally trained.
No,
right.
yeah.
But they're trained to some degree. They have an understanding of what they're supposed to
It
do.
seemed less like they were trained and more like they were just ever so slightly domesticated to the point where you can be among them and just sort of like wave your hands and get them to turn around and go the other way.
That's more like manipulation, though.
Yeah.
At that point, so
But it's not a
really
training.
What is
It's
training
not-
then? What is training an animal if not?
It's
It's a prolonged
We
manipulation.
train dogs by feeding them when they do things. Like
I don't know if I'd call that the same thing. I don't think it's the
don't
same
know.
thing at all.
Well, no, yeah, no, because that's
if my
rewarding
girlfriend
them
fed me
for
every
something.
time
It's- yeah.
she wanted me to do something, that would be I'd feel pretty manipulated.
Would you? No.
It's also what happens, but I'm just kidding.
I said, I don't want to go to that party. Oh, there's food? I'll go.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
just
Okay.
Basically
I mean,
the
yeah.
same thing. Yeah. It's just doing things
I don't want
that
to
you
go to church.
Right.
Oh wait, there's food.
Right.
Okay.
It's doing things that you don't want to
Give you a
do
little
in order
cracker.
to get what you want. That's training.
You're telling me there's wine? Hey, man.
Holy shit! Open wine bar.
I guess.
The priest is just like, didn't I like give you wine? No, hey, you didn't give me anything.
This is your 4th time through the line, sir.
just getting sloshed on the blood of Christ.
That's so wrong.
There's sentences that I regret saying. That's one of them.
Oh shit. Roar.
Hi, welcome to my new podcast, Sloshed on the Blood of Christ.
Sloshed on the Lord.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
It's like that
Roar.
line. It's like that line from that '70s show.
What?
Screw PCP and LSD. I get high on GOD. And it's Pastor
It's a good
Dave
line.
talking to the guys.
I love that.
All right.
Good
Roar.
line.
Roar. Anything else?
It's not bad.
Got nothing.
I could not agree more.
It's a fun movie.
It's a disaster, but it's a good disaster.
Yeah, it is a fun mess.
It's a rare occasion where I could call a movie a complete and utter disaster, but it's actually very enjoyable.
Very watchable.
Yeah.
Incredibly watchable.
And it's also very sad when you realize that this guy is just deluded.
Yeah.
His life was basically ruined as a result of this movie.
Well, his life was already ruined, and he was hoping this movie would save it.
But he
I think
ruined
is
it
really,
more.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it was just too far gone, you know?
Well, you know, he became broke for this movie.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the bottom.
Yes, check it out. I think it's streaming on YouTube, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
he
we
had
found it on YouTube.
Okay. So yeah, everybody
Maybe.
go watch
Hopefully.
the movie. I'll put the link on the episode. If you go to the website, it'll be on the episode page. You could watch the whole movie front to back. Because I would highly recommend, just for the shots alone, to appreciate it as a stunt show. It's really cool. I enjoy it.
If you guys made it this far, you know, please take a second to like, comment, subscribe, etc. And also, if you could give us a rating on iTunes, that would be super helpful to us.
Oh yeah, we should do that spiel now. So I'll just be.
I thought you were supposed to do it at the beginning.
Yeah, you're right. I'll be transparent about it. I want to get this show on Rotten Tomatoes. That is our goal. We want to get our reviews posted as real reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and part of the criteria for doing that is having 200 ratings on iTunes. And it also has to equal a score of 4 or more. So if you have not done so, or maybe you're listening to this for the first time, you stumbled on this podcast, just go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. You don't have to leave any comment. You can leave a comment if you want, but most people you can just hit the 5 stars. We were talking about it. 200 seems very doable.
Yeah.
Over 400 of you listen to this podcast already, and I know at least 200 people in my life. So, like, we could probably make this work, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the goal. We want to get at least 200 reviews. So if you do anything this week, please go to iTunes and do that.
And if you don't want to leave us 5 stars, that's fine. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's some good marketing right there.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, let's play a game real quick.
Oh, God.
How many Drew Careys?
7.
We let him indulge way too much on that.
A little bit.
It's the highlight of my week.
I was going to say, whatever makes him happy. He doesn't have much.
Dude, I love doing that. It's my favorite
Honestly,
thing.
Zach, I mean, this is our Make-A-Wish charity. It's just, you know,
Tanika, yeah.
Well,
Let-
then why
let the
isn't
kid
he
live his
dead
dream.
yet?
yikes.
You remember me just saying I regret saying things?
Wow. It's one of the worst things I've ever heard you say.
Tippy Hedren.
Well, it's one of the worst things you heard me say on podcast.
Tippy Hedren. Tippy Hedren. As we said, Alfred Hitchcock likes throwing birds at her. She also enjoys cats and of all
enjoys
sizes.
cats,
Of
yes.
all sizes. Because she opened up a shelter for the cats after the filming of Roar. Was once
On the
married.
site of the filming of The Roar.
That's right.
The Roar. Yes.
Was once married to Noel Marshall. Is no longer married to Noel Marshall because they got divorced and he's dead.
But
Yes.
mostly the divorce.
But mostly, yeah.
Tippy Hedren, again, is the net worth we're trying to guess. The net worth of Drew Carey is $165 million. The question for you, gentlemen, how many Tippy Hedrens to get to 1 Drew Carey?
All right.
We will start with me. I'll go first. And I'll say somewhere in the ballpark of 4 million. So that is like 20 something. 165 divided by 4. Oh, no. Okay. Well, yeah, 41. 41.
40.
I'll say 41 tippies.
41. See, I think she's worth more than that.
Okay.
I'm going to say 8 tippies.
Okay. Adam Hall?
8 tippies.
8 tippies, yeah, so that's a little over 20 million.
Because I'm going 16 and a half again.
So 10 million.
10 million.
Okay. And Nick Evangelista?
So, okay, so
First of all, do you know who Tippy
playing
Hedren
this
is?
Fucking game for almost a year.
and yet for some reason I still can't figure out which way is closer without going over.
The Drew, no, it doesn't. The over doesn't matter.
No, over doesn't matter.
Over doesn't matter anymore. We abolished that rule.
Good.
Okay.
because we all went over one week and we were like, fuck that.
Right. So he goes. So the number you're looking for is the Drew Carey number, which is Drew Carey divided by the net worth of the person.
Yeah, I think it takes 45.
So 45
Tippies.
tippies to get to. Okay.
Got it. So you're going 45. I'm
So what's
going
that, like 4 million?
less than 4 million.
Less than 4 million?
He's going 45. I'm going 41. Adam's going 16. Zach's going 8.
Yes.
The actual net worth of Hollywood's Scarlet Tippy Hedren is $20 million. That is
shit, really?
8.25 Drew Carey. Zach, you just won this week's edition of How Many Drew Carey?
I think she's about, I mean, I said 8, and it was like 20.6. All right. That's pretty close. That's fucking close. Holy shit.
There you go. How many Drew Careys? Zach, you're on a roll lately. I feel like you've been
Am
winning
I?
this a lot.
No, I won the
No,
last one.
it's I haven't won in a little while, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's the first time in a while.
I never
Adam,
win.
Adam has won a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how.
So everybody, there you go. We got all the plugs out of the way, so please do all those things. It would help a lot.
We didn't introduce ourselves again, but whatever.
I'm Nico.
I'm Adam.
I'm Nick.
No, that's fine. You can be Nick if you want to. It's a sad life.
TooManyThoughtsMedia.com or TMT.media for more of our shenanigans. Adam and I are having a ton of fun on the Movie Hall of Fame, our new podcast exploring the history of cinema. Last year we did, or sorry,
Last
week, I'm doing the math now because we're recording these things out of order. I believe we did the year 1995. So, yeah, check that one out. Year 1995.
Yeah,
and
it
then
got
next week we'll be
contentious
doing-
as fuck.
Yes, even though we haven't recorded it yet, but I'm sure it was very contentious. We've been getting a lot of love on that podcast, so I thank each and every one of you for doing so. That's it. Love ya. Until next time.
Love
That
you.
was weird.
What?
Yeah.
I always tell them that I love them.
Do you though?
Does he always?
Do you love
Always.
them?
You've been naughty, guys.
Naughty?
No.
Oh,
Wait,
sorry.
Naughty.
No.
Naughty.
No. How do you spell that?